In today's video, we're going to do part 2 about the T-Mobile 5G gateway for home internet. I've had a couple weeks to play around with it and test it, so we're going to discuss my findings. So 5G has been rolling out for the past 2 years or so, and while we've been getting new phones with these speeds, we haven't actually had a lot of devices that maximizes the speed. In certain areas, depending on how close you are to the antennas, you can get really fast speeds, but most of us don't have that kind of speeds that they promised. Now, if you have home internet, you realize that depending on where you live, you can go all the way up to a gigabit Ethernet, or you may be using a cable modem for your network, and that depends again on your location as far as how much speed you can get. The speed we get out here in Arizona maxes out at 960 on the download and only 35 megabits on the upload, which is kind of annoying. If you do a lot of YouTube and you upload videos, 35 isn't too bad, but what I signed up for when I came out here was the 500 down and 10 megabits up. So here we are about a year later when the contract with Cox was coming to an end, and I decided I needed to find something else. I checked out Spectrum to see what their network was like. However, when I put my address in, they don't seem to be able to find it. And when I called, they said, well, no, it's close to your area, but we don't have the service yet. A few weeks into my search, I got a knock on my door, and there's a gentleman outside saying that WeLink is in the area and they're offering speeds up to like 800 down and the same up. And I was like, wow, $79, same price? I want to go for that. Little did I know that this network system required them to mount an antenna to the roof. I figured it would work like cellular, the antennas are out there, and then you just get a signal in your house if they put some kind of Wi-Fi unit or something inside your house, much like I've seen with Verizon and T-Mobile and AT&T. But that wasn't the case. Their system was slightly different. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I decided not to go for that one because, again, going up on the roof and putting an antenna up there, it didn't seem like the thing we wanted to go with. It's not satellite dish, don't need to put something on the roof, something could possibly get damaged. And then after doing some reading online, I found out that yes, some folks actually complained that they had some damage to their roofs, and that wasn't making me too thrilled about that. So I canceled that one, didn't go ahead with it. So on a trip out to California, I noticed my 5G phone, which is T-Mobile, had a little icon on it that says UC. I'm like, that's interesting. I wonder what that is. So I decided to do a speed test just to see how fast this UC thing was and what kind of speed that I could get on my phone. I could get 700 on the download and about 500 on the upload. I was shocked. Now, subsequently after that, when I got back to the hotel, I was getting about 250 on the upload, which is still fantastic. At home, 5G, 1 bar. I get phone calls and messages and wouldn't know that they came in until like minutes later because it went to voicemail. You got a pop-up that, hey, you had a missed call, and there was a message. Text messages took minutes before it came through. So typically what I did for home is I turned off the 5G and only used the LTE. That one was giving me about 3 bars. There was still some delays as far as getting signal and phone calls if I'm downstairs, but upstairs it tends to be a little bit better. So seeing that T-Mobile is having this really fast speed, I was hoping that one day I could get this at home. So this so happened that in December, driving home, I noticed that they were replacing some of the antennas on one of the towers that's close by my house. Didn't have any 5G signal for a couple of days after that. And I was like, I guess it must be working on something. Hopefully things will get better. So I noticed the UC came up when I tried to find a signal one day next to the 5G. And I'm like, yep, let's give it a shot. I got 700 on a couple occasions, but mainly was right around between 500 and 690 or so, which in my mind for download, that's pretty good. On the upload, it was around 100, 125. Some days it could peak around 90 or so, and again, it depends on where the house I was that would occur. So I started looking into the 5G home internet. I've gotten lots of emails about it, and I wanted to see, finally, now that we have the signal in my area, what it was going to be like. So what did I do? I ordered me the T-Mobile 5G gateway. The first one I got had some issues. I followed the instructions and I tried to get it set up, but it didn't work. I tried for probably 2 hours and couldn't figure out what was going on. So I decided, you know what, something's not working right. I need to stop messing with this thing. And then on a subsequent reboot, it got a signal. Like, the antenna's like right over there. So it should have gotten a signal a long time ago. Don't know what's going on. Anyhow, I went through the process. I set up the device. I was happy. I was like, oh yes, we're good. This is working. When I tried to do a speed test, I got nothing. I was like, okay, that's weird. It says it's connected. Why am I not seeing anything? I tried my iPad. I tried on the phone. It wouldn't go through. Okay. I had to go take care of some stuff, so I had to leave the house, so I just left it alone. When I came back, signal was off. Later that night, I spent about 2 hours on the phone with a tech, going through reset, testing to make sure, the device has the SIM card in there and that everything is working correctly. The normal stuff you go through when you have tech that's having issues. You got to reset it. There's a reset button in the back, but that wasn't doing much. So they did like a reset over the wire. I waited. It came back online and, signal. Pretty much like we have here. That lasted for like a few seconds. And I was like, what the heck? Didn't work. He said he saw it. He was able to check the IMEI, verified what it was in the box, and yeah, everything was good on it, but it wasn't working. So he decided that he would send me on another one, and apparently there was a newer version he mentioned that was out that I would get. Well, it actually took like another week or so before I can get this device in. It was a lot of mix-up. They didn't order the correct thing. Actually, they didn't order it. I had to call a couple days later to find out that, hey, they never processed the request. So I had to get a return label to return the first device. After I did that, I had to keep calling back to see if I can get a new one sent out. I kept getting handed off to different people. No one seemed to know what was going on. The last person I talked to said, listen, if this doesn't work today, you can cancel the account. Done. I don't want to have it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. He said he'll get it working. He looked at it, asked a few questions. He goes, yeah, okay, I see the notes in here. It seems like they already sent you the label to return the old one. Okay. What we need to do is get you a new one. I'm like, yes, finally, somebody gets it. Everybody wanted me to keep testing this thing. Like, why they can do any testing? I don't have it. It's gone. So anyhow, he placed the order. And I got it like 3 days later, because I think it was like over the weekend. So shipped out on Monday, got it on a Tuesday. And yeah, as soon as I got it, again, set it up, got it going, and it started working fine. At least, so I thought. Getting a signal on the device is only one part of the problem, okay? I had to call them back again after messing around, but they couldn't figure out what was going on. That gentleman that I spoke to wanted me to verify the IMEI number, and I gave it to him. He was like, did you replace the SIM card? I'm like, why would I replace the SIM card? I already sent the old one back. Nobody told me to keep the old SIM card. So I figured you guys would have updated your records. You knew what you got. You knew what you were sending to me. He says, no, but I think that's the problem. So I read him the information off the bottom here and on the box. He confirmed it. Did what you have to do on the back end, and it started working. The speeds from the device are really great. It took me a couple days of messing around to kind of find a spot that I would like it to be in, and I put it closer to the front of the house where the antenna is, a little bit diagonal away from it. I didn't want it in the bedroom with us. I just wanted it someplace else. So I did that, and it's been working great. So I waited a couple more days before I actually canceled Cox, because I wanted to make sure that this thing was going to work correctly. So after a few days of using it, I kicked out Cox. I ended up selling the cable modem because I no longer needed it, and I figured since it's been working great, it was time to start adding different devices to it. So I went ahead with my laptop, my iPad, and iPhone, just to test the iPhone, because the iPhone doesn't need it. The 5G signal on the iPhone is actually much better as far as consistently getting close to 600 to 700 on it, and about 90 to 125 on the upload. So I really didn't need it. So over the days, you start to realize, oh, wait a second, my Nest isn't working. It's been programmed, so it still actually works, but it keeps saying that it doesn't have any Wi-Fi signal. So I set up the Nest devices to it, and it took probably like a week to kind of get all the devices connected to it. Now that was a load testing portion because I wanted to see, is it going to handle all these devices? Is it going to overheat or have issues? There was a video that I found that mentioned that if you have too many devices connected, the device itself could overheat. So I didn't want to do that, so I just kind of slowly started adding devices to it. Now, I did think about utilizing the ports on the back to plug in the extra Wi-Fi unit that I have, just so I could have some additional, reach inside the house. But this device works quite well all over the house. This is the back room, and being back here, I still have great signal. I can upload videos from here with no issue. So for me, it was like, all right, let's put everything on it. The other thing that I heard mentioned was that it wouldn't work well if you had a VPN, because there's something in the system that kind of prevents that. Now I tested it and I connected to different countries' VPN. The connection seemed a bit slower, but I was still able to work on the laptops, just not as fast as before. And I think that's not really this unit's problem. It's more like the connection on the other end as far as how those servers are working. Because I also tried it on my phone. It's pretty much the same thing. It slows down. And of course, it depends on which country you are hooking into as well, whether or not the speeds are going to be fast or it's going to be slow. How has my experience been to date? All I can say is that it's been excellent. I can't tell everyone to go out and get this. I would say yes, if you are living close to an antenna and you have great signal, it's worth it. From what I've been hearing, if you're not too close to it, the signal's not going to be as high as what I've been mentioning to you. But for a lot of people, for home internet, and if they just want to use a few things around the house, I think that'll be fine. Streaming 4K videos on multiple devices, iPad, iPhone, laptop, Apple TV, all works fine, no slowdown. I haven't had any issues with it. So I load tested it by just kind of throwing everything up there just to see what would happen, and it worked great. Now, I did feel the unit become warm on a couple of occasions. But again, like as I said, it's not hot, it's only warm. And it's sitting on the floor up here in the upstairs unit. We're not in the midst of the hot summer. So I think even then, as long as you have some kind of air conditioning cooler in the house, you should be fine. But upstairs here in my house is where it gets the best signal. So that's why I've kept it. And the experience, again, has been excellent. So if you're looking for one of these devices, I'll definitely say it's something that you should go ahead and get your hands on. The cool thing I like about the device, it comes with 2 ports on the back here. And there are LAN ports, so you can connect into the wall, into your house, to feed the signal out to another port, and then be able to plug Wi-Fi in some other place. I know not many homes have that. You may have to put it someplace and then plug the Wi-Fi unit that's in here, or run a cable someplace else to get an extra Wi-Fi signal. Depending on how big your house is, you may need to do that. But with this one device, I have not had to do anything extra on it. It serves the entire house and it works really well. You may be wondering, what does it cost to get this device? Well, currently T-Mobile is offering a deal, or I guess it's the standard thing right now, where it's $50 per month. The $50 includes taxes and fees, which is great. Now, I did find out that if you're not a T-Mobile customer, then the price is going to be a little bit different. That being said, I recommend this device if you want to upgrade your internet at home and you have a cable carrier that's charging you an arm and a leg for all the extra services. I think most people nowadays have decided that hey, I don't want to go with the cable stuff anymore. This whole bundle thing of phone, internet, and TV, even though it seems like a good deal for all three, sometimes it's not the greatest. And if you don't watch TV a lot and you don't have all that, channels that you need to keep track of, you have a Apple TV or a Fire Stick or whatever else they have out there that you can use, Roku. I can't recall the name of all the devices you have to stream stuff. Most people are signing for streaming services through the big corporation, NBC, ABC, Paramount, Disney, whatever. So that way, all you need is one of these devices and an internet connection. And once you have that, then you can watch all the movies you want and keep up with your favorite shows without having to be tethered to the cable company. And at a price of $50 for internet, most places, for the kind of speed that you're going to get on this, you're going to be either limited for how many gigabytes per month you can use, and that's something I found annoying when I came out here. Having Verizon back in the East Coast, or even what was it, Comcast, I don't recall them limit you as far as how many gigabytes you use. Out here it's like 1280, and if you stream a lot of music and you're doing a lot of uploads, you can kill that in a month. I've gone over quite a few months just because there's this data cap on the system. With this, just like your phone service, it's unlimited data. Nothing to worry about there. There's no data cap. You can stream as much as you want, upload as much as you want. You don't have to worry about any of that crap. And that's what I love about the system, which in my mind, for $50, yeah, it's not gigabit speed, but being able to have a fast upload as well, yeah, that's great. It may not match it, but still. So again, if you're looking for a device that you can use at home, definitely check one of these things out. You may want to switch over to T-Mobile and get all your plans together and the one package. That may work well for you as well. Because in my T-Mobile package, I do have Netflix, and they pay for some of it. Being prior military, I also get some discounts from that. And a lot of times we don't think about all these other discounts that we can add. Because I was with T-Mobile for a couple of years before I figured out that they had a military discount. I'm like, dang, I was leaving money on the table. If I'd known, I could have got all that. If they did it retroactively, it would have been nice, but they didn't. They just kind of added to my account. And ever since then, yeah, I'm paying about $105 normally, but that's before I got this. And that's because I added in some tethering for my mobile devices. So that's one thing I can get rid of and cut some costs as well. So, yep, I love this device. It works well. If you have any questions about it, put it down in the comments. Let me know. This device may be worth it for you. All right, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Peace out. See you in the next one.